So I read Fourth Wing all in one day yesterday. I went through it so fast. And now it is time for Iron Flame. I don't anticipate going through this one nearly as fast because I've been in Stillwater all day. So I've been driving back and forth, and I had a doctor's appointment and stuff. So I've just been busy. So I'm just now starting it, and it's already 8 o'clock, I think, 8 p.m. So I'm hoping to get a good chunk tonight, but I'm not going to be anywhere close to done. But I'm really excited. I'm kind of nervous about the direction of this book. She's going back to train for her second year, even after everything crazy that happened last book. I'm why would you go back? I know why, the reasoning, they would kill all the other kids who were had the tattoo, so I get it, but I'm I don't know if I'm looking forward to her going back. I kind of wanted more rebellion, but I have faith. I'm thinking to ACOTAR how Feyre had to go back to Tamlin, cross enemy lines for a bit, and then she was able to go back and fight. So I'm wondering, second book, she is in enemy territory, and then either third book is the third year, or third book is her fighting in the rebellion, which I heard somewhere that I think this is it was supposed to be a 3-book series, and she said, if I'm thinking of the right thing, she said she now thinks it has to be a 5-book series. So the 3-book series would make sense for years 1, 2, 3, and then maybe since it's now gonna be 5 books, years 1, 2, 3, and then fighting the rebellion. These are all theories. I don't know anything. I might know better once I start finish the second book. But I'm dying to know all these answers. And I'm not far enough into the series. And I want to start looking at theories online on stuff. And get into the deep, the deep stuff of the fandom, to see what everyone's talking about and who the favorite character, all that stuff is. But I'm not gonna spoil myself, because you do that and then you'll type in their name in the search bar and it's da-na-na, dead, and you're no, my favorite character's dead, and I am not gonna do that to myself. This is kind of a tangent, but I just want to get through the third book, which I need to buy the third book. I don't actually have it. I had the first and second, but I bought them before the third one came out. And I really hope it matches the vibe, because the first and second one have the same, the covers are kind of matchy. I don't know what the third one looks like. So I hope it matches. But anyway, I want to get through the third one so that way I can start looking on stuff online. So let's see how much I can get done tonight. I just realized I haven't done an update. I'm on page 145. I mean, it's good. I'm on it's the start of chapter 15. I honestly, so I was doing really good the last few pages. I've been moving, I'll read a little bit, take a break. Right now, they were kidnapped. It's not really kidnapped, it's for a training exercise, but they were kidnapped. And basically I don't even know what they're doing, but this part's moving a little slow for me. I might make it to page 200 and then go to bed. So I have 55 pages to go. So super easy. I can do it. So I'm here reading, and I have my emotional support cat. I just read, oh my gosh, the worst line I've ever read in my life. Not actually the worst, but so basically, backstory. They're arguing. She keeps refusing to say that she loves him because she found out that he lied about something. So she's guarding her heart, but he's you're gonna admit it because I know you love me, whatever. So basically, he says, "You love me." And then she says, "Stop reminding me. I thought we agreed not to fight tonight." And he goes, "Maybe you're not the one I'm reminding." Brutal. That is such a brutal thing to have to read. I've been on this page for probably about 10 minutes just contemplating where I'm gonna find the will to keep reading, because I don't know why that hit me so hard, but I'm like, that's so... I want her to forgive him already. Like, okay, girl, we get it. We get it. We'll see. So I have read quite a bit. I'm on page 296. Honestly, I'm getting kind of annoyed at Violet, and I didn't have this problem at all last book, but she's standing on business too much. Sometimes I'm like, I get mad whenever they just forgive too easy, but now it's to a point where, like, girl, get over it. Like, you can tell it's just to keep the plot going. It doesn't really make sense for her to still be mad, but I don't love that, but I'm sure that problem will be fixed soon. I think she's gonna forgive him soon. And then another thing that's confusing to me is the structure of everything, like where the school place. It's both very strict, but also like not at all, kind of. Like, someone was just like, hey, like, this was a while ago, but they're like, hey, will you take some notes for me? I'm not going to class. And I'm like, I thought this was like a cutthroat situation, so you can just like skip class and be fine. It's like kind of chill. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading. Okay, just finished part 1. I really like that they're finally gone from the school, whatever it is. I was getting kind of over it, but I'm really like that they left, and then they got a bunch of people to help, other writers to support the effort. I don't love that Dane had a little redemption moment. I hate that guy. I want him to die. Who else do I not like? Right now it's really just Dane. I didn't expect the mom to have a little redemption moment. That was interesting. But yeah, it's taking me a little bit longer to read than the first one is. Definitely, I like the first one better, but I'm still really enjoying this one, and I'm really excited to get the third one. I'm gonna be honest, I've been watching like videos. I've been like, it's consumed my social media, and I feel like I've gotten a few things spoiled, but nothing too bad. Nothing major, just like minor things that like I wish I hadn't seen, because now I'm kind of like, ugh. But I haven't learned my lesson, and I'm still watching the videos, so can't stop me. This is awful to say, but I'm starting to get annoyed with how often her arms pop out of their sockets. I get she has joint problems, but I feel like anytime something happens, it's like, my joint is thrown out of its socket. I scream in agony like 10 times in this book. It's crazy. And it's losing its effect, because I'm like, again, it's just starting to kind of annoy. She kind of annoys me in general, but like that's really starting to annoy me. I am on page 492. I'm making really good progress. I have hit my stride, and now I'm like reading it really quickly. I'm trying to think. Basically, right now they're in danger of like their whole like city being ransacked and everyone being killed. So they're trying to get the wards up. to protect them, and she knows how to do it. But once they have the wards up, then the flyers, like the people that they're not really friends with but they're allies with right now, they'll be cut off from their power once the wards are up. So they're trying to debate when they're gonna do it, if they're gonna do it, etc., etc. So that's where I'm at. I have like 100 pages left. I think it goes to page 620. I think 620. So I'm doing really good. I'm hoping to finish it by tonight, and then I really want to have the next one read by tomorrow night. So we'll see if I can get there. I went and bought the new one today, so I can hopefully start it in the morning and have it done. So I am going to go ahead and finish the book, and I'm going to go ahead and make a preliminary. Jeez. I'm going to make a preliminary rating. Right now, I think I'm going to give it a 4 or 5. I'm going to give it a 4 or 5. I liked the first one better. I like this one fine. I still am enjoying it, but I like the first one quite a bit better. Which I have heard. I've heard that this one is, people kind of debate. Some people don't like it. Actually, my mom got her hair done today, and I was at the hair salon, and I brought my book with me just to wait for her to be done. And the front desk lady was like, "Oh my gosh, how much have you read of this book?" And then she was saying that a lot of people don't like it. So I like it fine. I just don't like it as much as I like the first. So how are we at the end of the book and they're still arguing about the same thing? And here's the thing. I actually agree with Violet, where his position of if you just ask me, I'll answer any question you ask me. So it's on you for not asking the question. What? That's honestly kind of gaslighty, because how would she know to ask certain questions? You know what I mean? Yes, she can ask him any question she wants, and hypothetically he would answer it. But some questions, it's how would she know to ask that? And she even says, she's it's hard to ask questions when you don't even know what to ask. But I don't know. I just think that's stupid. And it's almost like him blaming her for everything he's kept a secret from her, which, like I said, it's I'm over it. I'm so over it at this point in the book. I'm so over it. But he knew her brother was alive, and lied to her about, he didn't tell her about how her mother was the one that cut him open all over his back and made a deal with him to not kill her. And then he never tells her that. She finds out from her mom or something, and he even knows that she knows, and he's like, "Well, you didn't ask me about it, so you didn't ask me, so I'm not gonna tell." I just think that mentality is so crazy, because then the second that she doesn't tell him something, he's like, "What about trust?" She could turn around and be like, "You didn't ask me about it." It's he's the only one who's allowed to be like, "I'll tell you when you ask me," but she has to tell him everything. And when she didn't, he's like, "So you you say that you don't trust me, da da da." It's trust goes both ways. You didn't ask, so same logic. I think that logic's stupid. However, We are on page, what page are we on? We were on page 514. We have been having the same argument over and over and over. Oh my gosh. And just when you think you're past it, it comes back. Like, I'm so annoyed. Like, girl, and it's been like months at this point. It's been a long time. Get over it. I'm just so done. And it's making me like dislike Violet, which I knew that people got annoyed with her in this book, and I was like, oh, she's not bad, da 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 da. No, I'm annoyed. But yes, am I on her side? Yes. Am I sick of hearing this argument? Yes. That's where I stand. Because I think, and I also just, he kind of irritates me, which I really like him, so don't get me wrong, but he kind of irritates me because he takes her. I hate when characters in books do this, when like the main character is like genuinely mad and upset, and the guy just like kind of sees it as funny, or like is kind of like sassy about it. I'm like, no, you should be like at least apologizing. Like, I don't know. He's kind of driving me nuts because is there some stuff where she's just like insecure? Yes. And for that, I'm totally being like I totally understand him being like, girl, you're just being insecure. But for all the stuff he's lied about and him saying, I'll answer any question you ask me, I think that's ridiculous. Like, she shouldn't have to directly ask you. You should tell her, hey, I literally had to deal with your mom about you. Because that's kind of effed. And then to turn it back on her and being like, why didn't you ask me about it then? Like, if you wanted to know, why didn't you ask me? I just think that's like, ugh, it's so irritating. I find that like awful. Also, right after he's like, ask me anything, she asks, what's your second signet? Which I kind of was already spoiled about that. So tragic. I did it to myself. I was just watching like videos about the book, so that was on me. But she asked him straight up about it, and he's like shocked that she knew about it. Like, okay, so she was supposed to be able to know about it, be able to ask him about it, but then he's like shocked when she does know about it, so she was just never supposed to find out. Like, because he hasn't told her, but by his reasoning, he doesn't have to tell her anything. She's just supposed to know to ask it. But then she asks, and it's like it's described as his eyes widen and the blood drains from his face as his hand falls away. For the first time, I think I've actually managed to shock Xaden Ryerson. And then she's like, I know you have one. You told me da-da-da-da-da. And then it says, he inhales sharply and forces his features into a mask. And then she literally goes, so much for asking. And then they get interrupted. But yeah, I am not loving his response, because I think her critique is very valid. Her saying like, you don't tell me anything going on, especially stuff that concerns her, being like, you don't tell me anything, and then the only response he has is, well, you never asked. I think that's ridiculous. By that reasoning, you could say that about anything. Like, I'm not saying he would cheat on her, but like, he could be cheating on her and she's like, why didn't you da-da-da-da? And he's like, well, you never asked. I know that's like an extreme, but like, I just think it's crazy that I think that reasoning is flawed, because how is she supposed to know what questions to ask about things that concern her? And she even flat out says that. Like, It also kind of frustrates me that Tairn is constantly just taking like Xaden's side and keeping things from her. Like, I understand that's a complicated situation, but also like he should have some loyalty to her, And it feels like anytime she feels betrayed by something, she mentions it to him. And he's like, or, oh yeah, I already knew. And he was also keeping it from her. Or like, on his side of things. Or like, trying to like argue back. And it just makes her seem like she's crazy when I feel like she's valid to be upset. And it's like, everyone in her life is like, no, I wouldn't be mad. Like, why are you mad? Like, you need to use logic. It's like, she's allowed to be upset by this. Like, he was keeping, and honestly, like, makes it even worse that, like, it's like a big conspiracy against her. Not really, but like, that's how it would feel. And they just make her seem like she's crazy if she's upset. I digress. I do want to clarify, I do think she has dragged this out for 518 pages. That's how long she's dragged this out for. Like, from page 1 till now. And they still haven't resolved it, so it's going to keep on going. But I agree with why she's mad. I don't agree with how long she has made this be an issue. Like, either get over it or don't. Like, either break up with him or move on, because you can't have it both ways, where you're like saying you love him and then you, anytime something aggravates you, you drag it back up to like have something on your side. I'm getting off my soapbox and I'm gonna move on from this issue. As you can tell, I'm just very passionate about it. And even still, after she flat out asked him what it is, he won't even tell her. And she literally says, like, the first test and you're failing. And he's like, don't you think I know that? And then he still won't tell her. Like, makes her... I'm, like, infuriated. I know I said I was gonna drop this. And I'm not gonna lie, I was spoiled at what it is. Okay, I know what it is. But I feel like I was led astray on what it is. So I'm gonna get to where it's revealed to see, because I feel like it was like slightly off, but we'll see. He is playing the victim so bad. Okay, so I wasn't really led astray. I already knew that he could read people's intentions. However, I was seeing people debate, sorry, I'm exposing myself for how much I spoiled myself. It wasn't like I quickly like saw it and scrolled away. No, like I was like, well, I'm already spoiled. I might as well figure it out. But I was seeing people debate if he could, like, I know he says he can't read thoughts. He can just see intentions. But, what did it say? Okay, this line, he says, she's thinking to herself, what if he's like Kat? What if he's been manipulating my emotions this whole time? And he says out loud, I would never do something like that. That's not an intention. That's a thought. How did he, like, the fact that he read that, there's no, the intention behind that is like distrust. So maybe, like, he was like, oh, she's distrusting me, so like da-da-da-da. But to me, that gives more like reading thoughts, which is even a bigger betrayal. And this goes into the whole thing of, I'm not going to circle back on this. You know how I feel. I'm not going to circle back on this. Don't do it, Sydney. I'm just going to say I'm going to circle back because I love to beat a dead horse. First off, how would she have known to ask that question? It's, I feel, very important that she knows that. How would she have known to ask that? Second off, when she did ask him, he wouldn't even tell her. It came down to all the only thing he says to give it away is
she says, I deserve better than this. Tell me the truth. And he says, you've always deserved better than me, and no one knows, because if they did, I'd be dead. And that's all he said, because his gift, if you have his gift, you get killed. So I understand not initially telling her, but that's showing a lack of trust by not telling her. So then him being like, you don't trust me. What? I just think it's crazy he throws that back on her, being like, you don't trust me to have my secrets. And it's like, no, why would you? And then after she's second guessing everything, she's like, how many times has he read me? How many thoughts had he eavesdropped on? Do I actually love him, or did he just say what I wanted to hear? And then he goes, less than a minute. That's how long it took for you to fall out of love with me. I just, and the thing is, I still like him. Like, this isn't like, oh, I hate him so much. It's just frustrating because, like, it's logic that you almost can't argue with, because it's, like, circular, if you know what I mean. Like, why didn't you tell me? Well, why didn't you ask? Well, how would I have known to ask? Like, it just, so there's no way to argue it, which is almost makes me understand why this argument has just gone on, because there's really, like, it just keeps going in circles. I'm still annoyed that it's been brought up yet again, but
We'll say I'm really glad that Taran doesn't know, because he was, like, pissed at this revelation also. I'm really glad he didn't know this one. Like, I think if he would have known this one, it would have really made me, like, been kind of upset, because it's kind of just been her on her own this whole time. And then finally someone else is in on, like, the betrayal of it all, so it makes her feel, like, seem like she's less crazy. So just said something that made me even more mad at him, but, like, he said it in a self-deprecating way, and it reminded me of another reason I should be mad. He made it such a big deal when Dane had looked in her mind and was like, don't touch her, like, da 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 da. When he did the same thing, he literally said, she asked him when he stopped looking in her mind. And he says, the moment I realized the harm Dane had done, and that I was no better than he was. So, like, he got all mad and was telling her that she needs to, like, be careful around Dane, which, looking back, I'm so stupid, because she literally says, he asks if, what did he say? He asked, did he touch her face? Because that's how Dane is able to read thoughts, by touching the face. He goes, did he touch your face? And she said, yes, but he didn't read my mind. I would know if he had. And he goes, no, you wouldn't. Because he had been doing it all along. I wasn't looking for another reason to be mad, but I have one. Because, oh my gosh, still, like, back to my point, I still really like him. This is my flaw. This is my red flag. I still really like him. But, oh my gosh, the situation just keeps getting worse and worse. She walked in there so confident. They were about to have their big argument. She walked in there so confident. She's like, leaving him's not what I want to do, but I'm not afraid to do it. Kid you not, they got 2 sentences into the fight. She's like, I'm not happy with you. And he's like, oh yeah, I know, I'm sorry. And she's like, okay. At least they finally agree. She says, no more of the ask me any question you want thing. She said, if there's something, then tell me. And he said, okay. but it's just because he didn't want to lose her. It's not because he actually wanted to have good communication skills. It's just because he knew for a fact that if he said no, she would be out the window. And also because I think his biggest secret was already out in the open. I think that's like the root of the problem, is that his biggest secret was already out in the open. So he's like, okay, now I'll tell you everything, because you already know the thing I didn't really want you to know. So I don't know, that was just so anticlimactic, and it didn't have any, like, satisfaction, because at least I was, like, get mad at him for lying about this major thing, like, the fact that he was literally reading her thoughts, and she's, like, mad for 0.2 seconds, and then just rolls over and is fine. Now I really am done with the soapbox, because I think this problem has been solved, hopefully, so I won't have to hear about it any longer. So it was getting kind of late, and I was just getting tired, so I stopped with 50 pages left. I don't know why I did that. I'm going to be so honest. It's the next morning, and I'm like, why did I just, like, finish the last 50 pages? But I digress. We're in the middle of battle, and I feel kind of bad for the mom. She found out that Brennan, her son, is alive after thinking he was dead for 6 years. And I feel kind of bad. Also because, like, Brennan's death was, like, one of the reasons that her husband died. Because it's, like, her just, like, gave out. So it's, like, she hasn't really said anything yet. She just kind of will stare at him, like, in shock and stuff. But it's interesting to me. They're in their final battle. They're all coming together to fight a common enemy. So that's really good. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's it. Her mom made a big storm during the fight to help Violet, because her, like, thing is lightning, so that'll help her out a little bit. And her mom can, like, control storms. But I'll keep reading and read these last 50 pages. You're kidding. You're kidding. He becomes one of the Venom? What? Is that why she couldn't reach him? Like, did he really have his shields up, or was he just, like, are they just not able to communicate now? Oh my gosh. No. Okay. He doesn't seem bad right now. So maybe it's just if he keeps going down this path of self-destruction. No! Oh my gosh. He was like being all self-deprecating, and I'm like, what could be that bad that he did? And I know he thought he was saving Violet, but it was kind of for nothing, wasn't it? Did it actually do anything? Guess it did kind of save her, kind of. Like, it helped him defeat the Venom General guy, and also, like, Violet was draining her power. But it just... Well, at least I don't have to wait for the next book like everyone else did. I can just start it because I bought it yesterday. So that ending was crazy. That honestly ups my rating of the book quite a bit, because I was not expecting that. So I'm going to give it like a 4.6. I still like the first one better. Do I? I think I gave the first one a 4.7, so I'm going to give this one a 4.7. I think they're even in my mind. So, that was really good.